guys, it's Lady Raven, the Wild Witch, and today I'm coming to you live from my altar room because I'm working from home today. So welcome. Today we're going to be talking about meditation and how is it that you are able to begin your very own meditation practice. It's really intimidating for a lot of people, isn't it? I mean, I see a lot of people that say to me, oh, I wish I could, but I just don't know how. The number one comment that I get is, oh, I couldn't keep my mind still for that long. And I think that there's some real big fallacies on the expectations of what meditation is supposed to be. There are different types of meditation, and depending on what it is that you're trying to achieve, you're going to use different types of meditation. So I just realized I started talking. I didn't even have time for people to log in. So let's give it a few more minutes and see if anybody logs in. But that is going to be our topic for today. I hope everybody had a great weekend. But anyway, let's see. We've got a couple more people in. Okay. So the meditation is going to be basically based on, depending on what it is that you're trying to achieve, right? And so it's the thing that is important is that people think that they need to sit down and they need to meditate for 20, 30 minutes. And when you're just starting out, your goal is 60 seconds, 1 minute. And I guarantee you can meditate for 1 minute. Anybody can meditate for 1 minute. And so, you're going to sit down, you're going to take a deep breath, you're going to bring in all of that calm and peacefulness, connect with Mother Earth, and try to just clear your mind for 30 seconds. Take those deep cleansing breaths, try to center and ground, and that is your first meditation, just like that. So what happens is when we use meditation for stress relief and for body scanning, for those kinds of things, then you definitely want to make sure that you clear your mind. So a reasonable goal for somebody who is just trying to clear their mind completely and use meditation as a stress relief, to calm down after a long day, for grounding, for anything like that, just 5 minutes is your basically total goal. 5 minutes of meditation, of this kind of connecting and releasing and clearing your mind, should be enough to give you a physical benefit. So that's basically going to be how you're going to start, right? You're going to start with 5 minutes, and that is really not a difficult thing. You may start off with maybe 60 seconds, and then you're going to work your way up, right? So 60 seconds, and then you're going to go 90 seconds, and then a minute, and then so on and so forth as you feel more comfortable. But more often than not, when we're talking about meditation, we're talking about using meditation as a tool to connect with spirit. And this is where the majority, if you're a witch, if you're any kind of spiritual practitioner, even if you're a shaman, you're going to do shamanic journeying, which is kind of a variation. It's a different type of meditation. This is going to be your primary tool that you're going to use to connect with spirit. And so one of the things that I recommend people to do in the very beginning is a guided meditation, because a guided meditation, number one, it will protect you, because you go in with a specific intent to do a specific thing. And the meditation will take you there and it'll bring you back, right? So that is a really safe, easy way to get started. Plus, as the meditation describes things for you that you're supposed to be seeing, it gives your brain something to do, right? So it keeps your brain from being that child in the background, which is exactly what happened when you tried to clear your mind. You're like, I'm going to clear my mind for about 60 seconds. And what actually is going to happen is you're going to start thinking about the laundry and what you got to do tomorrow and what's for dinner today. And, just all the things, what you said to so-and-so that you shouldn't have said, and everything that you don't need to think about right now. The minute you try to clear your mind, you're going to start thinking about that. And that's the equivalent of your brain being like that 5-year-old child as soon as you get on the phone and going like, hey, mom. So when you give your brain something to do, like now it's got to think about, the guided meditation is telling you you're walking into a forest. What's happening? Your brain and your mind right now is creating that forest that you're walking into. It's creating all of that you're kind of coming, that you're going to see. So it gives your brain a little bit of calm. Does it mean it's going to be absolutely perfect? No. In the beginning, I used to have a problem with that. Like I'd be in the forest and all that, and then all of a sudden I'd be yanked out, thinking about laundry. Oh, sorry. Every single time I start talking, my yawning starts. I don't know why. Didn't yawn a single time this morning, but now it's starting. But anyway, so as soon as you start, sometimes in the beginning, I would be on the forest, and then my brain would yank me, and I would start thinking about, what did I forget to write down in my day timer? I got a doctor's appointment tomorrow, and then immediately I come back into where I was. So that is a normal process. You're going to go through that process as you go through it, and eventually you're going to get to where you need to get. So we always start slow, and you want to start with guided meditations that you're going to start with. You want to start with something under 5 minutes. So under 5 minutes should be quick and easy. The average meditation that you should be doing to do actual work, where you go in and you do a guided meditation, should probably be around 10 to 15 minutes. That's going to be the bulk of your work. You can do meditations and stretch them out for an hour. I've seen people do that, but I can tell you right now, half the people don't get as much out of it because your brain is not going to stay focused on whatever it is that you're doing. We're not meant to be connected to the other realms for that period of time. We're here in this realm. So you go in, you get what you need, and you come back. That's really what our process is supposed to be. We're not supposed to be going in there and just kind of hanging out there and doing nothing else. So generally you're going to search for 10 to 15 minutes. I've seen people struggle with 20 minutes. If it's going to be something that's going to be 20 minutes or more, sometimes people will struggle. But 10 to 15 minutes seems to be kind of that sweet spot where you can get some good work done, good connections with your spirit guides, get good information, and then you can also be fully immersed and fully connected during that time. Oh my God, sorry about that. So that's the number one. The number two thing that you want to do when you go in is you want to go in with an intent. I've seen people do this like, I'm going to go and just see what happens. Nothing's going to happen. And if something does, this is when you go into a meditative state, you're leaving yourself in a position where you're open to the universe. When you go without intent, it's kind of like going into the street and just wandering the roads, right? Just wandering in the street. You have a much higher likelihood of getting mugged, of getting robbed, of getting pushed into traffic. God knows what's going to happen. Now, if you go in with a goal and you say, I am going to go to the coffee shop, and you get it, you get up, you get dressed, you hit the door, you hit the road, you go to the coffee shop, you walk to the coffee shop, you do what you got to do, you walk back. Your chances of arriving there securely and safely, of not getting lost, of not getting attacked or anything like that are much higher, because now you're not spending all this time just wandering about looking like you're like in tra-la-la land half the time. And that spirits can sense that. So when you go into that other realm in this kind of state of tra-la-la, they're going to go, what the hell are they doing here? And maybe I should attach. Maybe I should do something. So your intent is always going to protect you. When you go into a shamanic journey, when you go into a meditation, you always want to make sure that you say, okay, here's what I'm here for. Intent is going to protect you from getting other spirits that shouldn't be involved. But number two, the intent is going to go a long way to getting you to where you need to go, to talking to the spirits you need to talk to get the actual information that you want, to get more accurate information. So make sure that every time you go in, you always go in with your intent set to what it is that you want to do. It protects you and it keeps you focused. That is the number one thing for when you're doing meditation with that. So how do you start a meditation practice? As a lot of people say, how often should I meditate? Should I meditate, once a day, once a month? How often? And I would say if you're just starting out now, depending on what it is that you're trying to do, if you're trying to do stress relief meditation, you can do that every day if you want to. But if you're trying to do a journey or a meditation to connect with the other realm and get information and come back, you can probably do it about once a week if you want to. I wouldn't start doing more than that. Do it once a week, see how well you do. Bring the information back and really think about it. I see people repeating the same meditations over and over again. You're not going to get anything out of that. When you go in there the third time in the same meditation, Spirit's going to look at you and say, dude, you've been here like twice asking the same question. I got nothing for you. And so make sure that every time you go, you have a different goal, a different question in mind that you're going to go in. And then there's a fair amount of time in between meditations where you received information, you're going to come back, let's process that. What did that mean? Before you go searching for more information, sit with what you got first. Make sure that you fully understand it. Make sure you understand what are the possible meanings. What could this be leading to? Could somebody be trying to tell you something? Or is this kind of like a way to wake you up to something that you're doing? So there's a lot of information that comes back in a meditation. And if you are just skipping the process of really processing it and understanding what happened to just go on your next journey, it's really not going to be helpful to you. I've seen people get addicted to that. I've seen people go from one addiction and then they start meditating as a way to cope with their addiction in something, and then they become addicted to meditating. Then they're going in there all the time, and then they can come back, they go and meditate every day, they come back with different information, and now they're getting conflicting information, right? Because now they're going, I saw 5 different people, they gave me 5 different answers for the same thing. What do I do? It's the same thing you do in real life. You go to 5 different people, you're going to get 5 different answers. It's not like all the spirits are sitting there together and going, we are going to now connect and make sure that all of our answers are the same. It doesn't work that way. Some spirits are going to help you with something, and some spirits are going to help you with something else. So if you keep going and repeating the same questions again to different spirits, you may get different answers. If you go to a warring like spirit, their answer to you may be, you need to start a fight with somebody. If you go to a spirit that works in heart chakra and healing and all that, they're going to tell you need to evaluate yourself before you go forward. So there's going to be different answers that you're going to get to something based on where you are at the moment. So this is another reason why when you set your goal before and you say, hey, I'm struggling with, let's say you're trying to quit smoking, right? I'm struggling with quitting smoking. I want guidance. And then you're going to go into meditation. And then the spirit, who is going to be probably the best one to help you at that moment, based on your intent with the problems that you're having, is the one that's going to step up for you. So if you then do this again and you say, okay, now I'm going to visit this spirit and I'm going to ask him the same question. And now I'm going to visit this spirit and I'm going to ask you the same question. You're going to end up with different answers. Or if you keep doing the same thing, I'm going to go in with the goal of quitting smoking, right? I need help and guidance. So Friday I go in, help and guidance for quitting smoking. I'm going to come back. I got some information. I'm not exactly sure what it is. Didn't really think about it all that much. I was hoping the information would be clear. So then next Friday, I'm going to go back in again. I'm going to ask the same question, help with quitting. I'm going to come back. I may get some other information. The third time I go in, I guarantee you I'm going to get gibberish. The universe is looking at you going, dude, I've given it to you twice already. Why the hell are you here? So this is why it's important to go back and unpack what it is that you received, what information that you received. So meditation is great when you're trying to get a question. If you have different things in your life that seem to happen all over again, over and over, you get these cycles, right? So let's say you're like, why do I always keep, falling for married men? Why is that keep happening to me? This is a time for you to go into a meditation or a journey to ask for help and guidance. What do I need to do to clear myself from doing this? And then come back and listen to the answer. Sit with it. And the answer may not necessarily be what you want to hear. The answer may be you need to chill out for a minute, not date anybody for a couple years. That may be your answer. And you may not be willing to do that. So a lot of times I see people come back and say that they didn't get an answer. And I'm going to say yours truly here sometimes. When they actually did, and you just wasn't the answer that you really wanted. So when you go in, you're always going to get an answer. It's going to may necessarily be the answer you want, may not be an answer that you understand, because this is the other part of that. So the other part of that is spirits are not going to communicate with you with like nice little to-do lists and step 1, step 2, step 3. It would be amazing if they did, but unfortunately that's not how they do it. So they're going to come back to you with something that's going to be like a metaphor, an image or something. So you could, let's say you go to a bear and you ask a question from a bear totem. Maybe he'll get like a, I don't know, he'll grab some berries and hand them to you. That's his answer. And you're going like, dude, I was wondering if I'm going to get a raise and you gave me berries. What the hell does that mean? So now you need to go back and you need to listen and process that information and see, what does that mean? So for me, what I do a lot of times is I'll look at it and go look at a nature show, especially if I'm dealing with natural animal totems. And I'm going to say, what does a bear do? When a bear is like handing something, giving something away, what do they mean? Because sometimes in bear language, that may mean something. So if I'm having a hard time understanding what it is, I may go look something up like that to help me interpret. Or I may sit back and think to myself, the bear has handed me some fruit, right? And I was asking about my raise. Am I going to get a raise, or am I going to get a promotion, or what is that I'm going to get? And he handed me something. So to me, this could be, here's the nourishment that I'm looking for. He gave it to me, right? Money, raise is what you use to buy food. So I could interpret that food, that's coming, that is, the answer is yes, you're probably going to get your raise. Sit tight. He's giving it to me. He's not making me run off and get some. He's not saying go to that bush and get some. He's handing it to me, which means you need to chill out for a minute and you need to wait, and this is going to happen. Because a lot of times if we're waiting for something and we get tired of waiting or we get nervous, we start doing things that makes it even worse. So this is a lot of times how we get in our own way. Once again, yours truly does the same thing. So that is another way for you to interpret that message. But a lot of times the messages are going to be kind of chaotic. They're going to be metaphoric type messages. So you're going to have to sit with it for a minute to see if you can completely comprehend what it is that you're feeling and that you're getting. A lot of times when I go see my spirit guides in meditation, they'll point to things, they'll smile, they'll give me colors, and they'll give me feelings. It's rare that I get words or explanations. Only if I go in after, they gave me the first message and I didn't get it, and I'm sitting here and I'm like really trying real hard to understand it, and I can't. I go back and say, okay, this is the message you gave me. I don't understand it. I need clarification, or I need you to tell me this in a different way so that I can understand it. And then they'll come back and they'll give you that information in a different way. So there's a lot of different ways that you can use meditation to improve your practice. Meditation is also the basic skill. So everything that we do meditation is going to help train your ability to visualize things, which is how we cast spells and do things to that effect, how we change vibrations of energies for manifestation. All of that happens through a visualization process, through a ceremony process, and meditation becomes a huge part of that. And then later on, if you decide, I always see meditation as a stepping stone to moving into shamanic journeying. So if you decide you're going to start doing that, then meditation's kind of half the way there for you to start moving into shamanic journey. So that was basically what I had for you guys for today. I don't see any questions. And it is a very short, today's a shorter video than normal, so I apologize for that. But hopefully that gives you a few ideas of how you can get started in meditation practice. There are tons and tons of videos on YouTube that you can go and download. I would always start with something really, really short. Make sure you find the voice of the narrator that you really like. Sometimes if people narrate too fast, your brain can't keep up. Or sometimes if people narrate too slow, for me, I can't stand that because I'm like, just spit out the words. You're going too slow. So make sure that you get one that really, you listen to it first before you do it. Make sure the words are resonating with you. The tone, the pace is good for you. The voice is something you can get in, because all of these things are going to matter when you start listening to a meditation. If there's something with the pitch that doesn't really agree with you, somebody's voice or their tone or their cadence or anything like that, you may not be able to get into a meditative state. And that is not your fault. It just means that that's not compatible with you. So find one that is. So there's a lot of different ways that you can do that. Tomorrow we are going to do our live, and we are going to have tools that are going to help you to meditate. We just got some new anhydrites, which I'm pretty excited to show you guys tomorrow. We got the littler ones now, and we got medium-sized palm stones. So those are really cool if you're trying to build like a little meditation kit, just to kind of take along with you. So tomorrow at 5 o'clock at the Emporium on Instagram, and we'll do our live. And I thank you everybody so much for coming and for watching my live. All right, guys, I hope this helped. Take care. Bye-bye. Now, how do I turn this off? That is an important question.